Hey, what's going on guys? Conmaan here. Today we're going to go through episode 2 of our new series on modding. In the last episode I went over the basics of creating a new mod folder, where it is in your computer, and what things you'd need to do to modify pre-existing items. Today I'm going to create a completely new item from scratch, and I'm going to end up covering what it's like to make a mod that includes multiple items in it. It gets a little bit complex, and I reference a lot of the things we did in the last episode, so I highly recommend checking that out before watching this one. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So for this example, I'm going to keep my old hot dog weapon in addition to the new item that I'm going to bring in, which is a present that acts like a food item. I want it to heal the player for 100 HP whenever it's swung. So for the texture pack, I have both the hot dog and the present side by side here. And then you can see at the bottom of this paint browser that it's two 32 by 32 images lined up side by side. So I'm just going to put this to the side here and open my mod folder. The next step, of course, is to delete our old texture pack and put in and rename our new one. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Once we've done that, let's go ahead and create a new item textures 32 XML file. Before we do, I'd like to explain something about how the game reads texture packs. Textures are read as one would read in the English book. You start in the top left corner and you go right, and then if a row ends and there's a new row, you'd go from left to right again. So I have an example here. Let's say we had a texture pack with these 5 textures, right? The game would read the top left one first, then it would go right, which means then it would read 2 and then 3. And since the row ends, the texture pack would then go to the left side of the next row and go right again, so from 4 to 5. So the order in total would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may be asking, why is this relevant? Well, when we make our item textures 32 XML file, you basically just have a list of item names, and the first texture listed is the first item that the game reads on the texture pack that we have attached. So when I make my XML file, I'll need to keep the wood sword as the first one, and the present as the second. This is really important. Let's go ahead and do that right now. And then we have the item data XML file. Unlike the textures 32 XML file, the order doesn't really matter. So I'll start off with our new item, the present. I didn't point this out in the last episode, but the way that you get all of the code that you need off of the forums is by going to the forum page and then Total Miner General, and then by going to the TMPC modding API page. So for ID and name, obviously present. Description, let's say nutty or nice. Price in shops is going to be $2,000. Stack size is going to be 100, and then heal power, let's put it as 100. And then we can just add in our sword item data info that we made in the previous episode. So now that we've taken care of that, we also have to change some other things about the present to make sure that the game recognizes it as a food item. In order to do this, we'll need a different kind of XML file called item type data. The code that you need is going to be in the same place that the code for any other XML file is, right on the forum. So with item type data, we can set a few different things. So for item ID, we're going to have to set a unique name, which in this case we're using present. And then for use, we're going to have it be item, since the two options are block and item, and we want it to act like an item, not a block. And then for type, we're going to have it be food since it's none of the other ones listed. And for subtype, we're going to have it be edible. And then it's not really a part of the tier system, so we're just going to put none for class. Then we want it to be listed in the food section of the shop tab, so we're going to put food for INV. And then the weapon's not really going to be used in combat, so we're going to leave that as none. So now that we've done that, we kind of have two arbitrary fields that we could put whatever for model and swing. So for model, there's a ton of different ones. I'm just going to leave it as weapon because I like the way that it looks. And then for swing, let's see here. We have block item, eating. I think eating would look weird as swinging a present. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put block. And then after we can do that, we can go ahead and save up the XML file. And now our mod should be working. So let's check it out. So as you could see, our mod worked perfectly. The present did act as a healing item just as we had hoped, and even though I didn't show it the hot dog sword, still was a super overpowered sword. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like more, you want to see more of this new series that I'm doing on modding, feel free to hit that like button. And if you want to stay updated on Total Miner developments, feel free to subscribe. Catch you guys later.